Welcome to Fantasy Football Scouts. What's going on, guys?
Another
I'm
day,
Rob,
another episode.
Scott, Dan.
How's it going?
So today we're talking about quarterback busts. We all picked a guy individually that we think you guys should avoid come draft day. We'll talk about them real quick. So these guys here, we got three guys that we think you should pass on. So who wants to start?
I'll start right off the bat, seeing as I think mine is the most.
Yeah, it's a big name.
It's
Hot take.
Yeah, it's in the
Hot take, yeah.
It's one of the more popular guys, and my guy is Lamar Jackson. It's a pretty simple twofold reasoning. He's drafted very high. He's had some great success in his early on career, and it's definitely caused him to have a following, a massive fan base, and people love to watch it and have Lamar on their team, and there's nothing wrong with that. But where you're getting him right now, Lamar has had problems with throwing accuracy at the best of times in his career so far. And this is not going to be the best of times for Baltimore. They have a serious rash of wide receiver injuries happening right now. It's going to make it really hard for Lamar and the offense to get on the same page as far as practicing reps go, as far as in-game, simulating goes, and I just think it's going to be difficult for them to get really going early on in the season. So for that reason, I would definitely pass on Lamar Jackson and let it be someone else's problem.
Yeah, you're going to have to waste, a pretty high pick on him.
I don't see him going lower than the third round right now. It's just the nature of the beast. Generally, when Mahomes and Allen goes, maybe Dak,
Jackson.
He's right in that. He's right in that vicinity.
And Lamar could even go after Mahomes, before Josh Allen.
If people do like him and they're unaware of the pitfalls that are happening right now in Baltimore, maybe they're not following it too closely. It could be a real trap early on in the season, especially.
So if I could speak for you, you say pass on Lamar Jackson. Now, given where he's going, a guy like Kyler Murray would be the guy that you would take over Lamar. Maybe a round later.
Yeah, it's a double positive for Kyler Murray. I would say if you really want to reach on Kyler Murray and get him in some silly early round, that is completely on you. If you're the person that wants to reach for a Kyler Murray in the third round because you think he's going in the fourth round, you can do that. I'm not telling you to do
Nothing
that,
wrong with that.
But I'm saying Kyler Murray is certainly a better option than Lamar Jackson, especially this year with the way things have shaped out.
Let's talk about those injuries. Okay, so the wide receivers are banged up. All right, we all saw Rashad Bateman go down. There was a lot of hype behind him.
He's been quite the hype train.
So it's is it a hamstring or is it?
I believe they're just classifying it as a knee injury, and they're not really giving a big update. But the timetable, they're hoping that it's going to be a few weeks, not a few months. But he's still looking at
Questionable week one.
He was all but ruled out for week one.
Okay, there you go. So that's a big one right there. Rashad Bateman could very well miss a few games in the regular season, let alone preseason. All right, so and then we got Sammy Watkins, who I looked
perennial disappointments.
I looked at yesterday on the website, and he had a questionable tag. I mean, the questionable tag is there.
He lives with that
round.
thing. He lives with that thing. He sleeps with the Q tag. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
And I like Sammy Watkins.
Everyone likes Sammy.
I think he's
Slamming
talented.
Sammy, yeah.
I think when he plays, he's a guy that I would like to have on my team. But the thing is he's always hurt, and so he's hurt right now, right?
Yeah. Not to mention, he just got there. When you go to a new
That's
team
true.
and a new system, you want to get those reps, you want to get those snaps, you want to get familiar with how a team operates. And with all these guys are all new players on this team outside of Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
It's just not going to bode well for you when you can't even get into the practices in camp and preseason. It's not going to translate well when the real games start.
And then, so speaking of Marquise Brown, he's also hurt, right?
Yep.
So what's the story behind him, Dan? Do you got any updates on that?
I haven't seen any, but
It's at least a week-to-week thing.
But
I know
I'm sure that I can pull this up.
I'm pretty
here.
sure he hasn't practiced in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that as well. It's definitely a slow go for Marquise Brown. And even if he was healthy, he's had his own struggles with Lamar Jackson just last year. They had frustrations. They had a bit of a blow-up. It's not like it was all peaches and creams for for Hollywood Brown even before the injury. So it's just a little bit of a proceed with caution if you're gonna bet heavy on the Baltimore air raid attack.
That's true. So I have a little update on Marquise. We posted it on our Instagram page August 3rd. So this is what I wrote. Marquise Brown is dealing with a hamstring injury that proves to be more concerning than expected. And obviously this is quoted from a source that is valid, right? Like it's a reliable source. It's not just... So hamstring injury, more concerning than expected. His health is up in the air. Is he going to be ready to play week 1? It's debatable. We're not sure yet.
Those ones are the toughest, and I've been a huge victim of those soft tissue injuries that recur and never seem to stop coming back again and again in the year. It's the kind of thing where these guys will play the opening snap, realize they're not good to go, shut it down for the day, and now you've just lost one of your players after one snap of the day. And it is a very frustrating situation. So you really want to see... All injuries can be a little frustrating, but especially with the hamstring injuries, it feels like you're good to go until you're not, and it's a back and forth thing, and you really need to see a clean bill of health with these guys before you can jump all the way in on them.
And I like Watkins, I like Brown, and I like Bateman. So it'd be nice to see these guys on the field sooner than later. But that's something to keep in mind if you're looking at drafting Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, they even had Mark Andrews, who is healthy, but again, he also had a hard time last year. For whatever reason, the air attack just wasn't clicking on all cylinders for Baltimore last year, and it's certainly going to follow them into this year if they cannot get all on the field to at least practice and get those reps, and that looks like that's the case. So for that reason, I'm out on Lamar Jackson at this time.
Good call. All right, Dan, so who do you got for your quarterback bust?
Well, I'm going down to the SEC, and I'm going Joe Burrow. Obviously, he's coming back from that horrific knee injury, and early reports are that he's not right mentally. I know he's got his little boy there, Jamar Chase, but even at that, he's coming back with an inferior play caller in Zach Taylor, who I just don't trust to put him in the right position to succeed. And you're not going to be scoring many touchdowns on that one leg, and that brace is the size of Manhattan. Like, it is a huge knee brace that he's wearing here.
Yeah.
So he's like, until he takes that thing off, he's going to be sitting in that pocket, and that pocket isn't very good.
Did you guys read that? He actually was quoted saying that he's still hesitant and unsure about the knee and stuff like that. He's just not feeling right.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic because usually during this time of the year we get the I'm in the best shape of my life, this guy's the best he's ever looked, this guy's going to be our bell cow, yada yada, so on and so forth. Usually that's the type of things we've been accustomed to hearing in the preseason. Cincinnati has actually we've been getting a lot of news about them, and most of it has been all negative, unfortunately. Burrow is not quite right. I think he's just trying to rush back from his injury. What you can do as a quarterback more than another position, you can try to hobble out there. And as mentioned by Dan, Jamar Chase has not been getting glowing reviews so far in camp. It is what it is. The problem is a little dual threat, as I'm just going to wrap up your idea and you can take the horns back, Dan. But the Bengals really struggled to run the ball last year. They've been struggling to run the ball basically almost Mixon's whole career right now. They just refuse to get that O-line sorted out. And that looks like it's going to be the problem again this year for them. Now, Burrow was healthy last year. At his height of his power, they were throwing the ball a lot. Yeah. And it wasn't transitioning into massive points or wins for them. With him being a little hobbled, a little hesitant, and them struggling to really get that air offense going, it just looks like it's going to be a little bit of a rough start for the Bengals and Burrow.
Yeah, the offense is, do you trust the offense, Dan?
No, this is not Marvin Lewis's Cincinnati Bengals. Well, they were a joke under Marvin Lewis, but they were able to move the ball and get competent pieces, and right now the Zach Taylor Bengals they're just not moving the ball, and that's an indictment on Zach Taylor more than it is anything.
Their division does not do them any favors either. They play in one of the most fiercest defensive divisions in the NFL with Cleveland, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. These are really good defensive teams. They've been known for it for a long time, especially the first two.
Yeah.
Cleveland has really come around in the last few years as a strong roster. So it's a bad break for the Cincinnati. They're being kind of pushed to the back of the line in this division, it seems.
Tough schedule. You mentioned Jamar Chase not having the greatest camp. When it comes to receivers in Cincinnati, a little off topic, I think T. Higgins is the guy you want on your team, not Jamar Chase.
Almost a hybrid tight end. He's 6'5", so he kind of has that body to play a little bit of that box-out style. It complements well with Tyler Boyd, who's not that size, so they don't have to play the same position.
I think you make very good points, Dan, with the injury and the offense. And I when it comes to bust Joe Burrow, it could very well happen. Time will tell, I guess. But I like the pick.
Yeah, it's not a knock on his long-term outlook. Burrow looked really good last year when he was healthy. It's just it's probably not going to happen this year based on what we're seeing with all these other mitigating factors.
And he likes to run the ball, but again,
and he was good at it
with the ACL.
Yeah.
How much of that is he going to do this year?
No, we've mentioned it on a few podcasts, but these injuries can take almost a year and a half. That's almost 2 full seasons sometimes to heal. It's just not going to probably be there this year for him to go full steam.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Joe Burrow tore his ACL. I think it was week 10 last year, so. And that's pretty late in the season.
Which means you shouldn't expect him to look completely okay until after week 10 this year. That's just the reality of these injuries if we look at the benchmark or the baseline.
Yeah. All right. My quarterback bust I got here is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. I know Dan might disagree with that. I think he had him in his sleeper picks a couple episodes ago. But I'm not high on Hurts. I got nothing against him. I could be wrong. I don't like the offense. I don't think he has the greatest weapons, even at running back. Devontae Smith, rookie.
Hasn't practiced much.
Just a lot of unknown there. And, Jalen Hurts didn't play much last year as well. So we just don't know about this guy. And although you can get him late, I mean, I think there's better options out there around the same ADP. Could be Matthew Stafford. It could be Justin Fields.
My sleeper Trevor Lawrence will definitely be kicking around there.
That's another good option.
Yeah.
So I think there's better options than Jalen Hurts when it comes to where you're drafting him. So I'm against drafting Jalen Hurts this year.
We talked about if it was appropriate to list a guy like that in the sleeper and the bust, but you know what the reality is? Sleepers can bust. That's literally why.
Absolutely.
That's literally why they're sleepers. That's why we don't call them must-haves. That's why we don't call them huge targets for your drafting board because you're not really entirely sure what you're going to get, and we're still somewhat early into the preseason where we haven't quite seen everything from everyone. Like I mentioned, Jalen Hurts is going to be a big play at best. There's going to be a lot of incompletions. There's going to be a lot of broken plays, but there's going to be some big splash plays as well. That's what it seems to be the case for Philly this year. Yeah. It's a new offense and a new coach. There's a lot of changes, and changes generally breed unfamiliarity with each other. So there is a work-through process that they have to go through.
That's the one thing I was going to mention is the new coach. So I'm just not big on the offense at all, really. I think avoid all Philadelphia Eagle offensive players. Goddard, Ertz, Devontae Smith. I think you just got to avoid all those guys, and that's what we got. So
makes sense.
Quarterback busts. We got Jalen Hurts. We got Joe Burrow and Scott
Lamar Jackson.
So we got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Jalen Hurts as our quarterback busts. Do not draft these guys. All right. So
you've been warned.
Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. We're all over the place: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Fantasy Football Scouts. Take care, guys.
Till next time.
Ciao.